lots of impacts from the weather that we've seen on
No
the
kidding.
southeast with the hurricane.
Incredible, yeah.
And then we got our share of downpours.
Right? All the lightning, the downpours, the flooding. Not as exciting tonight, which is good. We need a little break,
we need a
right?
break.
And we get some sunshine tomorrow as well before more rain comes in for the weekend. Hey, look at this nice time-lapse shoreline. Hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon. We're looking off toward the Cascade Range, and you can see some of the clouds off in the distance. And some of those clouds over the Cascade Range are producing some showers and thunderstorms. Lots of sunshine, though. Let's look at this shot. Everett Payne Field here. Nice break after the active evening yesterday. And then Paulsbo, look at all the clouds here as we look off toward the Olympic range. So we do expect a few more, or the chance for a few more scattered showers this evening right along the east side. Not a lot, but some. Some of the energy is coming over the mountains. Temperatures at this hour, 60s and some low 70s out there. And here is the center of the storm. You can see the rotation right there. It's tracking off to the east as it does some of the moisture that's over the Cascades. It's kind of spilling over, giving us that chance for a few isolated showers. Some lightning strikes down to the south as well. Most of this energy, as you can see, continues to track off in this direction, right over the foothills. And then as you go up to the north, just a few isolated showers there. Again, some of these will produce some brief heavy downpours. There's not as much energy as there was yesterday. Nonetheless, we got to watch that closely as we look at Futurecast, 7 p.m. There's some of the energy rotating around. You can see the clouds over the Olympic range. We showed you that shot from Paulsbo. Put this into motion. Fast forward to tomorrow morning. Yeah, you've got some cloud cover to start your Wednesday morning. We will see plenty of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and highs will come back up to the low and mid 70s. So a couple of days of sunshine before fall-like weather returns on Friday. I'm going to pause here Thursday, 5:30 in the morning. A piece of energy is going to rotate through as the front passes to the north. We may be able to squeeze out a couple of light showers early Thursday morning, but it'll be fast to move out of here. For the lunch hour, you have some sunshine, but look what's knocking on the door. An impressive cold front. That's 12:30 on Thursday. You're going to see some rain closer to Neah Bay, maybe as far as Port Angeles. By the time we get to the evening hours, watch how slowly that moves through. And those shades of yellow and orange do indicate some heavy rainfall at times. So Thursday evening, between say 7, 8, 9, and 10, the front starts to move right through Puget Sound. The Northwest Interior San Juan Islands get in at first, and then by the time we get to about 11:30 or 12, it finally starts to lift out of here. Into Friday afternoon, we will see a few more scattered showers, and we're going to keep that chance for showers going right in through most of the weekend as well. Boy, chilly overnights. You need that extra blanket. Lows into the 50s. Your highs tomorrow, we're back up into the 60s and a couple of low 70s. Maybe an isolated shower or two up across the Northwest Interior. 72 for Seattle. That's very close to average for this time of year, which is right about 73. We'll continue with those low 70s and a couple of mid 70s for South Puget Sound, right across the Kitsap Peninsula, and a couple of low 70s as we go along the coast tomorrow. 7-day forecast. Once we get eastern Washington, you got some 70s and 80s. Here's your 7-day forecast. So pretty close to average tomorrow. Thursday, some rain late in the evening, a few more scattered showers on Friday. UW game on Saturday. Looks like a couple of showers for that, and also showers for the Sounders on Sunday.